Hey, Nathan here, helping you become a better jungler. Today's video is going to be all about the full level 4 clear by 3:15 with Eve on the preseason 11, currently patch 10.24. So this video is going to be covering really in depth about how to do this clear. We're going to start with the benefits of this clear. Why do you want to be clearing this fast? Then we'll just have a video of the clear from start to finish, no interruptions. Then number 3 here, we're going to actually break it down almost frame by frame, talking about how I'm doing each camp and looking at the abilities that I'm using as well as in between the auto attacks. Then we're going to be covering 2 examples here of a bit slower clears, one from a Plat 1 Eve, one from a Plat 4 Eve, and then we will finish off with some final tips for how you can practice this clear yourself and ways you can improve the clear to get this time. Benefits of this clear. Why do you want to be clearing this quickly? Most obvious one here is the quicker you clear your camps, the quicker they'll respawn, which means you're going to be getting to level 6 faster, which means you can really utilize your stealth passive as Eve and your ultimate. Next one here is less opportunities for the enemy to counter jungle you. If you're speeding through your jungle, the enemy's going to rock up into your jungle, be like, okay, where's Eve? I wanted to really invade her. Everyone loves invading Eves. The biggest one here is the 114 ward. We don't switch out to sweeper. I talk about this in my Eve guide, my season 10 Eve guide. They'll be linked in the description below. I'm not going to talk at all in this video how to deal with invades. It's going to be future content for me as Eve, but this is part of the level 1 process. I always want you to put down a ward on the outside your red buff. You can do it on either side of the map. And the way timing works is that by the time you finish your red buff, they're rarely able to get to you because you clear so quickly, especially when you get a leash. And the next one here is have more options to gank or secure a scuttle crab. Obviously, if you're finishing your Krugs, you're full clear at by 308, 309 with a leash, you're going to have that opportunity to get to that crab, maybe one shot it really quickly, or you can just reset and go to the other crab, which really helps prevent you from getting double crabbed. I see a lot of examples of Eve just doing very slow clears, and then they're getting slow to a crab, or that gives the enemy team be like, okay, they know you as Eve started blue, they started red, they coming down here, they get that crab because you finished clearing it like 320, 325, and they're like, oh, cool, now I can go and take that other crab. It really prevents from getting double crabbed, which we don't want to happen. That's going to really hinder our progress to get to level 6. So now let's take a look at the VOD of the 3:15 clear.
Their mouths say no, but their bodies say, flay me alive. I hurt you. Their happiness is the depth of it. They have so much farther to fall.
So first thing to note here is my runes. I'm going Electrocute, Primary, Domination, and then Inspiration Secondary. The major change with Eve compared to my guard again in Season 10 was the Cosmic Insight change, where it now only works on items and summoner spells, no longer the ability cooldown reduction, which definitely hurt her clear slightly. You can still take that with Rocket Belt builds. There's also the Night Harvester, and I've also been seeing some futures market as well. So I've been actually experimenting with this, and then I'm going double adaptive and armor in the rune stats, just to make sure that we've got the right runes here for this clear. But again, if you go Cosmic Insight here, doesn't really matter. I have sort of tested this with Gathering Storm. I haven't found any difference at all. It's very difficult to maintain higher than 70% health with the Gathering Storm to really utilize it in the clear. So first thing to notice here is the 114 ward that I put down here. And why 114? It gives us perfect amount of time to get to the blue on time, deny the blast cone, and then we start our blue buff. So we walk here. Alright, so first thing you're going to notice here, I throw a Q instantly, almost at 129, just as it's going to spawn. So you want to, again, utilize the cast time here, so you're not doing it 130 and then you have this cast time and then auto attack in. So you're really going to squeeze like an extra second in here. So then I do an auto attack. And then one thing you'll notice here is this rhythm that I'm doing. I'm constantly doing like auto attack. So Q, auto attack, I do 1 hate spike, auto attack, and then 2 hate spikes. You're going to notice that a lot. So then there's the 2, auto attack, hate spike, auto attack, 1 Q, auto attack, 2 Qs. So it doesn't really make a difference. You can just bash it, but what I feel like is I get into some like trance of some rhythm momentum that really helps my movement, understand when I need to move and when I need to stop kiting the camp. Next thing here is the way that I kill the blue. So I'm killing the blue literally in melee range of the Gromp, because what I want to do here is literally as the blue dies, I want to do, you have to be in melee range to E. I do an E straight away. So really important to get that E off straight away again to utilize the cooldown, and it's pretty good damage. It's about 116 at this stage. You also probably want to be popping your health potions here. I do it a little late, so I like almost look like I die here. But it's fine to just pop your health potions. It doesn't really make any difference as you're doing the blue buff. So again, weaving in my auto attacks between my Qs. Really important. Pay attention to the way that I'm doing my Qs. Again, I'm trying to keep that rhythm. Next thing here, a key point is what I want to do here is I want to finish off the Gromp with an E, ideally. It's gonna vary here. Again, this is just the leashless clear. It's going to vary with leash. Sometimes the way it works, you're not going to be able to finish it with an E. And why I want to finish it with an E is you get this little move speed boost, which allows you to get to the next camp quicker. So I'm using the move speed boost, kiting it out, and then only utilizing 1 Q there. I maybe could have done that actually a little bit quicker if I did 2 Qs there, but I found it didn't make too much of a difference. So running straight here. Next thing here is I'm always hitting the big wolf with my initial Q. So always, if you hit the small ones with initial Q, it makes a huge difference. So again, big one, hit him with the initial Q. And then kiting, walking down to my next camp. I potentially could have killed the wolves a little. I mean, again, I'm walking out here. Sometimes you can kill the wolves here, but I found it a little bit more difficult in terms of camps resetting with the new way that camps move, and again in Season 11 that they actually walk up faster. And also, I find sometimes if I walk too far this direction, again, this is just from experience, I don't know if this is just a fact or not, is that suddenly the little wolves get in front of me because they're quicker than the big wolf. So it's actually more difficult to hit the big wolf out here, which actually slows down my clear in a weird way as well. But you can experiment with that. Again, you could probably, I mean, I didn't practice this too much. You can probably do this a lot quicker. I mean, again, a lot quicker, maybe 2 seconds or so. But again, I want you to just emphasize, just if you're getting these timing, you're going to be playing Eve pretty well. You're going to be able to, again, still have all the benefits that I listed before. All right, next thing here is on the Raptors. So what you always need to do is you must wait for your passive to come back up and your E to come back up, because your E, this empowered E, is really important. So notice here again, I'm just waiting, and then the empowered E, once your passive gets off cooldown, which is out of combat, this will light up and its cooldown gets reset, and this allows us to AoE the camps. Now this part of the clear, the two Qs on Raptors, is very difficult, but I found that the way you do this is by movement, by where you actually drag out the raptors. So what you do here is, as you can see here, so always throw the cue over the wall here to leash them again, so then they're walking this, so we're not walking here then throwing a cue. But remember, I'm also hitting the big raptor with this. So this is just, I just know the big raptors here just again through experience, so that's why I'm doing it over the wall here. And what I do is here, I don't walk directly here. Notice my click is here. I like to do it here, and this allows me to hit all the raptors with my hate spikes. So as we can see here, I hit all of them. I do 2 Qs, do my E, which allows me to go through all, it moves you through the camp. And then now I'm going to finish off another hate spike. And then the most important part of this as well is, again, the same thing, weaving in your auto attacks with your Qs and hitting the big raptor camp with your initial Q. So as you can see here, auto attack, again, auto attacking, and then moving straight to my red, and I killed those in a very 2 clean Qs with 3 hate spikes still available. This alone is about 2-3 seconds difference. If you sometimes, I mean, when I first started doing this, I was always getting onto red with 2 hate spikes left instead of 3, and but you still want to be hitting the initial Q on red. So next thing here, again, kiting this to my Krugs. This is pretty self-explanatory, the same way you kill blue. Again, kiting to the next camp. I did a little bit of inefficient movement there. Alright, next one here is you only want to be like auto-attacking the big Krug, because the other one's just going to die from normal hate spikes. So always just focus that, and then throwing a Q on that one. Again, just to get my Q hate spikes ready. And then this is what is really important as well, is spreading your damage across these. So like they're all roughly dying around the same time. So notice how like I started Eing and Qing these, and then my next E is going to be on that, because I want, again, these to be all around the same health. So they all die about the same time. This is also going to speed up your clear by a couple of seconds. So you see how I'm auto attacking? I just auto attack that one right there. And we'll see how I use my E. And then auto attack, and then E. Probably actually should have E'd that one. That's probably a bit of a mistake. Again, these are tiny little details that you could sit here for hours and practice this, but as long as you're getting it to around this, we're pretty good. And then as you can see here, that's dead walking to crab at 315. Remember, we're going to be able to do this with if we get a leash, especially a bot leash. Obviously this side will be a top leash, so it's a little bit weaker. We're going to be finishing this clear. I mean, I've done it about 307, 308 with a really hard leash like a Caitlyn Zara or something like that. So we can be on the map very quickly. And there's a huge difference between this. Again, most Eves I see clear around 330 even with a leash. So practice this. Again, I'm going to show you some tips, but let's go over some slower clears now. Actually, no, first let's break down via text about all these things, sort of just recap the breakdown. Alright, so summarizing the breakdown we just did, obviously the path is blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, red, Krugs. 2 smarts, you do 1 on the red and then 1 on the big Krug. Remember, focus on killing that big Krug. Ignore the small Krug, that's going to die to the hate spikes naturally. Biggest thing here is the weaving in auto attacks in between the initial Q cast time. That's the only reason I'm able to kill Raptors in two nice Qs. But also your E as well. I should probably mention here, plus your E. Your E, again, you want to auto attack, then E, then auto attack again. And you're going to have to like do a combination with that with your Q. Kill blue in melee range of Gromp to instantly get an E off. Really important there. Kill 2 Raptors in 2 clean full Qs. Always be hitting the big wolf and big Raptors with initial Q cast. So important. This makes a huge difference. You cannot simply do this clear. I mean, it's probably literally 5 seconds right there. Really important. And then in the smaller Krugs, the last bit again, spread all auto attacks so they're all dying around the same time. Next one here is a little graph here where all the camps you want to be ideally dying. Again, blue needs to be dying around here, so then you're ready here to do it, you know, your instant E. Gromp dying, again, it's a little bit harder here, but it's like, this is more where you're positioned. So it's like, it dies with your, again with your E and you're running straight here. Wolves are probably going to die around here. I don't know if you can really drag them here without resetting. But again, ideally, wolves are dying there. Raptors dying here, and then red dying here again, obviously, so we can move to the Krugs. So it's really important. So again, you're kiting your camps to the next camp. But remember, you're not kiting them just running. You need to be, as you're kiting them, weaving auto attacks and Qs, using your abilities as you're kiting to the next camp. So let's now look at 2 examples of some slower kills, slower clears and then see what they're doing differently to my clear. Okay, so this is a Platinum 1 Eve clear. So let's take a look here. Let's look at some mistakes he makes. Alright, so initial one already. Remember the importance. Remember what I said that you need to be throwing your Q at about 129 to account for this bar. He's literally throwing it as it spawned at 130. Already, 1 second. So he's getting a bot leash here. So again, let's compare the times. And this is a very nice bot leash. This is Kaiser's an excellent bot leash. Alright, next thing here is he missed times the Q on Gromp. He completely missed it. So the initial Q's already gone to waste. And then he's actually thrown another initial Q on the Gromp where he could have just finished that with auto attacks and thrown the Q to the Gromp to leash it. To drag it to you so you can start getting your jungle item proc in. Next thing here, you'll notice, look at how slow his E is. He's just leveled it up now. That's the other thing. It's actually, you need to level it up instantly as soon as blue dies. I level up instantly and then instantly E. But look how long it takes him to do his E. Again, let's look at this again. Look at his E, look at his E, look at his E, that's an E. So he's looking at lanes in between it. This is actually pretty nice. Ideally, you're doing this as well. But let's just focus on doing this clear first until you get this to muscle memory. I mean, he should probably be focusing on this clear at the moment. Alright, that's pretty good. He uses the E to move to the next camp, but then misses the Q on the Big Wolf. You'll notice I actually did this a little bit differently. I had my hate spikes already like channeled up, so I didn't have an initial Q to do it on the wolf. Again, this is going to depend on the leash, but then again, ideally here, it's still fine to throw, you know, your big Q there, but remember, you have to be hitting the big wolf there. So again, lost some valuable time there. Alright, so right there, we just used an auto attack on one of the small wolves. Always be auto attacking the big wolf, whilst your hate spikes are killing the other one. So he kited it too far. And again, this is the problem with kiting it out too far, is that these start blocking your main initial hate spike. So I like to sort of keep it around here, and then start walking here as it's about to die, or as I don't need to worry about the initial Q hate spike anymore. So, okay, actually I think maybe he did hit the big wolf with an auto attack there. Anyway, again, just emphasizing the point. Okay, hit that one there. And then kiting it again, probably needs to kite out the wolves a little bit further. Alright, it's waited for his passive here, but a little bit inefficient movement. Like he's sort of like going back here a little bit. Don't know what's going on there. Alright, he hits the big raptor here. And he did miss one hate spike on all of these. So this is the next thing as well. Notice how many less auto attacks he's doing on the big raptor camp compared to my clear. So right now he's just done one. He's still done one. He's still done one. He's still done one. I've probably done 3 auto attacks in that moment. And then he's literally done 3 Qs and even an E to finish that camp. That right there is basically plus 5 seconds. So really important. Okay, not using his E, waiting too long for his E. He's kiting this out nicely, but he probably should have smited earlier again to utilize the cooldown on smite. He smites it a bit late. There was no one invading him. He was all good. Ramos actually showed bot. Alright, let's look at the way he's doing these small Krugs here. Okay, he did auto attack one of the small Krugs. So you see that auto attack on the small Krug? Again, big Krug, big Krug, big Krug. Go to kill the big Krug ASAP, so then it spawns the little one, so then you can finish off. You'll finish off this one anyway with just your basic hate spikes after, as long as you're positioning correctly to AoE it. So he's focusing this, but this is the problem as well, because he smited too late. Now his smite's not up, so he's going to be very inefficient killing this Krug here as well. So he's going to get a lot of time added to this. So again, he doesn't even have time to use smite at the moment. And if you notice as well, I pretty much end the same HP as he does here as well. I mean, I guess not really, because I guess he could smite here. So I guess he's sort of done a bit better. But remember, he got a hard bot leash here, and he's finishing at 325. So again, with that bot leash, I'll be finishing this by about 307. So it's a good 17 seconds difference. There's a lot you can do in League with 17 seconds. So this is the first slow clear example. Let's look at a little bit more faster clear and sort of see the little details that he's missing again to potentially speed up his clear. Alright, so this Eve here in this game actually uses the 114 ward trick that he's one of my viewers, so he has watched my Eve guide. And then going up here to deny the blast cone. Alright, so again, he's getting a bot leash here. Very hard bot leash because he's got his bot lane. Same sort of side on the map. Alright, so let's look at the way he throws this again. His initial Q off. Does he throw it at 129? Again, he throws it probably half a second too late. So good, but could be a little bit better. Alright, very nice leash from this bot lane. Beautiful. This is what I dream of as Eve. So pretty good. Alright, so bit slow there on the way he hits the Gromp. So you notice here, like he should be queuing, finishing that off with an auto attack and then queuing the Gromp now. But he sort of stutter steps, misses an auto attack. And then again, a little too slow on the E. But that was much faster than the other one. Again, probably can be popping your health potions here. He's weaving in auto attacks pretty nicely in between his Qs. And his E. And then, again, ideally he finished off that camp with his E, so he gets to this camp quicker. So whenever you can do that, you do it, but sometimes you can't based on, again, the way your leash goes. Okay, this camp's done pretty nicely. Okay, he actually lagged a little bit there, but overall that's pretty nice. Nice, and then moving on to the Raptors now. Again, hitting the big Raptor with his initial Q. Okay, this is done pretty well. Auto attacking the big one as well. Nice. And then he does this, so great. He does the 2 Qs, but he's using all 3 of his hate spikes to finish off the Raptor camp. Remember the way that I did Raptors there? I had all 3 hate spikes available for my red buff. So again, it's really important the way you're doing the Raptor camp. So if you look at what actually happens here, again, it's the way he's not hitting all the Raptors with his Q. So you notice these Qs, it's actually missing this one. But he's doing the auto attacks pretty nicely. Okay, maybe a little bit delayed on that auto attack. So yeah, the main thing there is that he missed a lot of the smaller ones with his hate spikes as he was moving towards the big Raptor. So that's why, again, I usually like to position a little bit out here, do 2 Qs, then E, then reposition myself forward, and then do my last hate spike, and then just hate spike, and then we're going to do the 3rd Q on our red buff. So close, but could be improved on again. Great, he's using his smite instantly on the red buff there. That's much better compared to the first example we looked at. Okay, red's dying. Maybe could have died a little bit closer. Hitting the big Krug with his initial Q. Great, he's only hitting the big one. Ooh, I think he hit the small one with a initial Q. Let's just double check that. Yeah, so he hit that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hit that. Sometimes very hard to see. Yeah, he hit the initial hate spike on the small one. Again, always the initial one on the big Krug. Okay, but he's spreading out the damage pretty nicely. Okay, he did hit one of the little ones there, the little ones with the hate spike. So this is a 315 clear, which remembers the exact same time as me, but again, he got a very hard bot leash as well. So again, he could be saving, a good 7-8 seconds here, and even some tiny improvements here, especially to the Raptors. So I mean, I'm even thinking here, I can't remember the last time I got a really, really good bot leash in high elo from my laners, but yeah, we could be doing this at least 3 or 5, 6, 7 potentially. So anyway, I'll do some more gameplay content with Eve and I can show you that in actual games. Alright, so let's wrap up with some final tips here for you to practice this Eve clear, improve on it, and get similar close to these times. Okay, so my final tips here. What I want you to do, if you're new to Eve or right now in your Eve clears in your games, you get in around 325, 330. I want you to go into a custom game or practice tool, and I want you to practice this until you're comfortable getting less than 320 at least 5 times in a row. It's going to be about consistency, replicating this, getting this into your muscle memory. I'm not too fussed about a 315. It is difficult to replicate. Even that specific way that I do Raptors, sometimes I mess it up. Again, I know how to do it, but sometimes just the way that like I move, or sometimes I feel like the camp's RNG movement, it's a bit difficult. Again, I think I actually could have got this down to like 313 potentially. But less than 320, I'm pretty okay with, because remember, if you're getting a bot leash, you're going to be probably finishing these about 312, 311 anyway. Next thing here is I want you to focus on your auto attacks. Really important. This clear is all about your auto attacks, the weaving of your auto attacks, and making sure that you're not kiting too far, that you're just not auto attacking, like we saw in that first example with him on the Raptor camp. He just started running away, and then he missed like 2-3 auto attack opportunities on the big Raptor camp. Find some sort of rhythm. The rhythm for me is auto attack, Q, auto attack, and then 2 more Qs. Keep doing that again. It just helps me like, okay, I auto attack, and then as I Q, I'm like walking. And then I stop auto attack, and then I walk again to kite 2 Qs after that. And then obviously always be kiting your camp to the next camp. Really important. So you're getting to the next camp straight away. Ideally, you're moving to each camp after using an E to give you that little move speed boost, so you're getting to the camps quicker. So this is going to wrap up this video. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if there's any comments, questions below, but get practicing this clear. It's going to be, again, really beneficial for helping you speed up your getting to level 6, not getting double crab, getting the first crab, and even ganking earlier as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.